Fine hooligans, it's Christmas Eve. I promised you a new video. I said I was going to talk about midnight mass, so here we go. Got the fire burning nice and bright behind me. Come on now. Oh my goodness. Hope everybody's having a good holiday. I'm blocking my Christmas tree, but there it is. I could have it on this setting, actually. Yeah, I'll leave it like that. Christmas tree, super not important, but I have like different settings, so it can be like all the white lights or yellow, whatever, or you can have it on all the colorful settings. So, you know what? Let's add some color to this. There we go. Boom. Beautiful. All right. So, this is going to be like a one shot, one record, no edits or anything. Got little ones here. Christmas Eve, we're going to be doing some baking. Then we're going to watch some Krampus. Earlier today, we watched The Grinch, the Jim Carrey one. Super good movie. It still holds up. By the way, that's not what we're here to talk about. Midnight Mass. I finished it last night. And honestly, it is a lot better than like I thought it was going to be. I think some of the negative things that I saw about it, more so, and I don't want to speak for everybody, but it kind of comes off more as like people just got too attached to the religious aspect of it, and they didn't really think about anything else. They just saw it for like a religious kind of thing. And I should actually say it's going to be spoilers ahead. But anyway, for me, a lot of the things that happened in the show and the way people acted about certain things, like, so Father Paul, when he discovered what he thought was an angel, I think there's certain people in the world that are so entrenched in religion and their belief system and everything. Maybe that's because that's what they've grown up with. That's just how they've always lived their life, kind of thing. So to them, almost anything that happens is a religious experience, whether it's a vampire creature being mistaken for an angel, whether it's, certain things happening, everything's attributed to God's plan, you know what I mean? Or it's God's work in a way. But then you have other people as well that while they're doing that, they think that makes them better than other people. It makes them better than everyone else because they think that because God loves them like the most, kind of thing. And he doesn't love other people. I'm not here to hate on anyone's religion, anything like that. I honestly, whatever you believe. But be a good person at the end of the day. And even that was something that was tackled in the last episode, where Bev Keane was confronted when I can't remember her name, but Riley's mom, Mrs. Flynn, had said, like, why does it bug you that God loves everybody and not just you? Because that is something that it came off like she feels because she has God's love, then she's better than everyone else, kind of thing. And that's not the case. If you do believe in God and like how God loves everybody, then that's exactly it. He doesn't love you more than them because you go to church or anything. There's love for everyone. Excuse me. So I liked how the show kind of reflected these kind of things because I've seen these type of people in my life. I've been around these type of people. And in this show, they also deal with guilt in so many different ways, especially towards the end of the show in that last one where we see Father Paul feeling very guilty with how everything has turned out because it didn't turn out the way he thought. And, there's that whole when man plans, God laughs kind of thing. But we see with Riley dealing with his guilt, and then him and Aaron having that conversation in the boat, him kind of almost finally coming to peace with things and like in a way sacrificing himself to show her what's happening in the town and everything, so then she can hopefully do something for other people. In doing that, he finally deals with his own guilt and his own misdeeds, or whatever you want to call it, the mistakes that he made. And we even see that maybe in a way he is forgiven when we see that girl from the beginning that he had the accident with. She's not all like messed up anymore. She's like back to just looking normal kind of thing, and like reaching for his hand. I think the show deals with guilt again, like I said, in a lot of different ways. We see that with his dad. We see that with Riley. We see that with so many different people, and the way that they deal with it is all different. Some people go and seek the church. Other people seek conversations with friends or loved ones. We see Joe Colley. We see him dealing with his guilt through like addictions and stuff like that. So for me, that was an interesting thing to see. I just want to say too, I don't like Bev Keane, the actor who plays her. She did such a good job because I fucking hated that character. She's a bitch. I just, and I'm not saying the actor is, the character is. She did a very good job of portraying that like Catholic extremist point of view kind of thing. Yeah, I just Mike Flanagan, he did the Haunting of Hill House seasons. He had even said how he grew up in a religious like setting and everything, and you know, it's one of those things that like you, when you're growing up in that type of thing, you almost like anything you do wrong or that's not according to the church or whatever have you, like you feel guilty about it, or you're scared because you don't know what's going to happen. I think you can take a step back and look at it and say, some of these people, from a religious standpoint, thought that these were miracles happening. This was something good for the town. This was part of God's plan. An angel was bestowed on us. And then I think you can also look at it and see where it's like, well, no, this is definitely not. This might actually be kind of like a punishment for some people, whether it's because that's the way they've acted or thought of others, the way they've treated certain people from other cultural or religious backgrounds, which again we see with the sheriff. Excuse me. Oh, and that actor, Raul Coley. It was really cool seeing him in this because, so he was on a show called iZombie. He was also in Haunting of Bly Manor, but I know him from a channel that I used to watch on YouTube called Funhouse, and it was just him like having fun with his friends and stuff. And it was just like, it was so cool seeing him in this type of a role. In that moment, again at that final episode, with him and his son Ali coming together again, and him getting to pray with his son one last time, and they do the Muslim prayer tradition. And then it's almost like Allah took him before his son, so the father wouldn't have to see his son go before him, kind of thing. He wouldn't have to deal with that pain. Oh, another thing too. When we see Father Paul and Sarah, and I can't remember her name, but Sarah's mom, they have their moment when the truth is revealed and everything, and they share that kiss right before the sun comes up, and it's just a blinding light. I interpreted that scene, it's almost like, I don't want to just say like he was forgiven for all of this, but it felt like that was almost like God's light coming up. And it's like, you could say it's God's love or whatever, but it was just this bright, blinding light. And then when you see the sun in the other scenes, it just, I don't know, for me, it didn't seem as bright. It kind of seemed like there was something different at play with that scene. But then everybody else coming back together and singing that hymn again, what they were singing, it's almost like the parallel or the duality kind of thing. You see them singing that, you hear them singing that song as they're all marching like a cult towards the church for this like Easter vigil. But then when they know the end is upon them and they've messed up, they're singing it as a way of asking for forgiveness from God. And I just thought it was kind of beautiful, like, especially with Riley's parents coming together, and they weren't like, they didn't feed and like go all nuts like a lot of the other people in the town. I thought it was just a really cool scene, and it was a really cool way of showing like the flip side of these songs. Like, yes, they can feel cultish for a lot of things, but at the same time, depending on how they are portrayed or presented, they can be a very beautiful way of just everybody coming together and singing these songs and kind of feeling something and connecting with God again. So I thought that was really cool. But then you see with Bev Keane, as devout as she was, as like holier than thou she was, and as much as she believed in God, she was not willing to like just willingly face her punishment. She was literally trying to bury herself in the sand so she wouldn't have to deal with these consequences. So much like how she told Wade, Lisa's dad, you know, you can't cherry pick the blessings and everything that you get from God. Well, in that, she wanted to cherry pick what God was giving to her, whether that's good or bad, whether it's reward or punishment. She wants all these rewards and she wants to be the leader of things, but she doesn't want to face the punishments that await her. I don't know. And I think one thing again with Lisa at the end when she says I can't feel my legs again, because she like went from being in a wheelchair, drinking this angel or vampire's blood, whatever was happening, to being able to walk, and now that that's gone, it to me it felt like the evil that was like infiltrating the town and everything was gone, and it was almost like God restoring her to her perfect self kind of thing, because we hear that said throughout the show. It's almost like God's way of saying, you're perfect the way you are. Like, you are a good person. You're perfect the way you are. It doesn't matter if you're in a wheelchair or not. Like, you are loved like this. So don't feel bad about it, kind of thing. I don't know. Overall, I really enjoyed the show. Excuse me. I've always been a fan of like religious horror as well. And I liked how this was something different. It wasn't just like, oh, here's a priest that is now possessed by a demon or whatever. This felt very, more so grounded in reality in a way. Almost like a very real reflection of things that we can see in these small communities, that religion is a very, very prevalent thing in them. So yeah, I don't know. I really enjoyed the show. I think, I don't know. I think there could be a season 2 done as well. But we'll have to see, because we actually don't know what happened to the creature. At the end, it wasn't flying very great because Aaron, like ripped all those holes in the wings and stuff. Literally sacrificed herself to try and stop this thing from continuously spreading all of this. But we don't know what happened to it. It wasn't flying very great, but at the same time, we didn't see it just like plummet and crash. It could have made it somewhere safe to heal itself or whatever. Who knows if there's more cats on that little island from the beginning for it to feed on? Who knows? Either way, Midnight Mass on Netflix. If you want to check it out, I definitely recommend it. I think it's a really cool one, it's a really cool show. Two, it's a really interesting take on like religious horror kind of what am I saying? Projects, religious horror projects. Instead of it, like I said, instead of it being like, here's a priest that's possessed by a demon, it's again like a reflection of certain things, and the way people react and the way people go about this. I don't know. Part of me just, it felt like I could see this happening. So yeah, I don't know. If you check it out, I hope you enjoy. If you don't, that's okay too. It's, things aren't for everybody. But I really enjoyed it. Thank you to Hamilfet and his lady Alyssa for recommending it to me, but also helping me remember that it was in my watch list so I could go and watch it. And yeah, so I'm gonna get out of here. I got chocolate chip cookies and banana bread to make tonight, so it's a busy night, getting ready for the big man's arrival. But yeah, I hope you folks are having a happy holidays. If you're celebrating anything, just fill it with love and be around the people you love if you can. Saturday, Christmas, we always do a holiday hangout. I'm going to see you folks. We're going to aim for probably 4 o'clock. I don't know. I'm going to narrow it down. I want to say 4. So yeah, we'll see what happens. Either 3 o'clock or 4 o'clock. I'm going to figure it out. We'll post it on Instagram. But yeah, either way, mucho love, you hooligans. I hope you folks are doing bueno out there. Mwah, 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 for you beautiful fat cheese. All my quiet kids, freaks, and weirdos, for the love of everybody, keep being weird, and happy holidays.